Hello, and thank you to the organisers of this session for inviting me to give a lightning talk. I apologise that I cannot join you live, but I'm looking forward to catching up on your discussions afterwards. So my name is Rosie Higman. I'm the Research Data Manager at the University of Sheffield Library, where I manage a small team who support research data management as part of a broader scholarly communications team. So I'm going to talk now about a very new initiative, our Open Research Conversations. We started these this autumn to help build engagement with our researchers whilst everyone is working remotely due to COVID. So I'd like to start by giving a little bit of credit. So I think the slides should have moved on now. Our Open Research Conversations are an extension and expansion of the data conversations which Hardy Schramm started whilst at the University of Lancaster. So Lancaster's events focused on giving researchers a chance to talk about their data and data management practices around a theme and accompanied by pizza to create a kind of friendly and convivial atmosphere. So we held one of our own data conversations, complete with pizza, last February for Love Data Week, with about 40 researchers and support staff attending with really positive feedback. But unfortunately, before we had a chance to follow up on this, COVID hit and we decided that our researchers probably didn't have the time or energy to engage with this type of event for the rest of the academic year. So we took the opportunity over the summer to regroup a bit and think about what sort of engagement would work best online, assuming that that's how we would be working for most of the next academic year. And we decided to broaden the scope of our events to cover all of open research, and I'll talk a bit more about why in a moment. So these conversations that we're running are online. They have 2 to 3 speakers per event, and an event lasts about an hour. So there's plenty of time for questions. And they're all running at lunchtime on different days of the week to try and accommodate those with caring responsibilities and those who work part-time. The programme for our first semester is up on the slide, and it includes an event about an open access policy, data visualization, reproducibility, monographs. And I really tried to sort of balance this programme so that there was something in there for all the disciplines. And we had over 50 attendees at the first event, and we have about 40 signed up for the rest. So we took this approach at Sheffield because we had been having a sort of working data repository and been reviewing data management plans for quite a while. But we wanted to kind of build a deeper engagement with the research community and raise awareness of open research practices. So we sort of expanded our engagement a little bit last year with the first data conversation, and also a lot more training and support because there was a new requirement for postgraduate students to have a data management plan. But we still felt we wanted to do more. And there'd also been some staff turnover in our team. I joined in July 2019, and this turnover meant there'd been a bit of a gap in our advocacy efforts, so we wanted to reboot that. And finally, when we began planning the programme in the summer, it became clear to me that there were quite a lot of issues around open research where we needed to do some awareness raising over the next academic year, and we thought it was logical to join all of these together. So the other issues included the new Wellcome Trust open access policy, transitional deals for Plan S, responsible metrics and software sharing. So as I say, it seemed more efficient to bring these together under one umbrella series of events around open research. And by doing so, I'm also hoping that we will engage with researchers who would never usually come to an event if it was labelled just being about data, so that we can sort of get awareness of RDM through these other events and reach some groups who would never normally contact. So it's a little bit stealthy. So what's going to come up next? Well, based on the signups we've had so far and the one conversation we've had, it seems like a really good model for us to bring together all of our advocacy. And I'm in the process of planning the events for the next semester and getting approval for these. Hopefully another 4 events running through to the end of the academic year. And this semester was a little bit of a trial run. It was an experiment kind of doing this online. And to be honest, I wasn't sure who was going to turn up if we didn't have any pizza to offer them. So we sort of started out by mostly approaching speakers and working with people who already used our services and we already knew quite well. So next semester, I'm quite keen to broaden out the range of speakers and have sort of open invitations, as well as inviting researchers to suggest topics that they're interested in, making the outputs of the events openly available, so we kind of practicing what we preach, and also collaborating with other departments to stage these. So our event on reproducibility is joint with our research practice lead, who leads on reproducibility efforts at the university. We'd like to do that with some other departments as well. And I'm also starting to think about how do we make this engagement with these events into a more of a sort of sustainable community rather than just a one-off. And that might be through a champion style initiative or something less formal, but that's sort of something we're trying to work through at the moment for the next academic year. And lastly, at the absolute last moment when I was preparing this talk, the university released their new vision statement. There's a link there. And in the research section of this, as I've highlighted, it explicitly commits to creating an open research culture and supporting the FAIR principles. And this really reinforces the importance of this work and the support that we have from the sort of centre of the university, which is very encouraging. So as I said at the beginning, it's really early days for this engagement activity, but we think it's a good model for a sort of small team who are trying to raise awareness at quite a big research university. So thank you for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions via Twitter, or my email address is at the bottom of the screen, and I look forward to catching up with all the other presentations when they're online.